In this video, we are going to be discussing inverse variation. In the previous one, we talked about direct variation. To see that, just click on the link at the top right corner of your screen. Before venturing into inverse variation, we are going to need to know what this word, inverse, what it means. Now, inverse can either be an additive inverse or a multiplicative inverse. For example, 5 is a positive number. Its additive inverse is -5 because if I add 5 and -5, I'm going to get 0, which is the additive identity. Similarly, 1 over 5 is the multiplicative inverse of 5 because if I multiply 5 and 1 over 5, I'm going to get 1, which is the multiplicative identity. The inverse variation only pertains to the multiplicative inverse. Thus, if we've got two items, x and y, if x is inversely proportional to y, then we know that we are going to be dealing with 1 over y. Thus, it's going to be written as x. This is the sign of proportionality. Now, the inverse of y is 1 over y. This is what it means for x to be inversely proportional to y. And we know that to solve this, we're going to have to change this proportional sign to an equal to. And once we do that, we would multiply whatever is by the right by a constant k. Thus, this is going to be x equals k times 1 over y. So the multiplication of fractions, this is just going to be k over y. And if we cross multiply, we would see that xy would be equal to k. So if x is inversely proportional to y, upon cross multiplication, we are going to see that xy would be equal to k. Let's solve a few problems. Here is the question. X varies inversely as y. If x equals 5 when y equals 2, calculate the value of x when y equals 10 and y when x equals 7. So to solve this, we're going to have to translate the statement into a mathematical expression or equation. So x varies inversely as y, so we are going to start with x, the proportional sign. So since it's inversely as y, the inverse of y is 1 over y, so this is 1 over y. And we know what this is. Changing this sign to an equal sign would make us multiply whatever is by the right by constant k. So this is k times 1 over y. We've got x here. This is x equals k over y. Cross multiplication will fetch us xy equals k. Now we find that this is the formula connecting x and y. Xy equals k. The next is going to be to obtain the value of this constant. These values would help us obtain our constant k. Since x is equal to 5 when y equals to 2, we are just going to substitute the values into this equation. So x is equal to 5, that's 5, times y is equal to 2, this is 5 times 2 equals k. So we would see here that the constant k equals 10. Thus, the formula connecting x and y transforms to xy equals 10. So whatever is the value of x, once we multiply y by it, we would always arrive at the constant k. So the first one, we are asked to obtain the value of x when y equals 10. Already we know that xy is equal to 10. So this is x times y is 10 equal to 10. We're going to divide both sides by 10 to obtain x. So 10 is just going to make way for 10 on the right and the left. So we see that x is equal to 1. So the second one, we're asked to obtain the value of y when x is equal to 7. Of course, we know that the formula connecting x and y is xy equals 10. Substituting the value of x equal to 7, so we get 7 times y equals 10. To obtain y, we will divide both sides by 7. 7 is going to cancel 7 on the left. So we see that y is equal to 10 over 7. This is the value of y. the second question. Here is example 2. Given that y is inversely proportional as root x, copy and complete the table. So here is the table with 2 rows. The first row contains the values of x, and the second row contains the values of y. Of course, this is an inverse variation here because we've got 1 over root x on the right of the proportional sign. So this is the inverse of root x. So the first thing is going to be to interpret y being inversely proportional as root x. Of course, the first thing is going to be to change this sign to an equal sign and multiply whatever is by the right by constant k. So this is going to be k times 1 over the root of x. This is going to be k over root of x. Cross multiplying, we would have y times root x is equal to k. So this is the formula connecting y and root x. Of course, we need to obtain the value of k in order to get the exact relationship between them. And we would see here that the second column is going to be most useful because we've got a value for x and a corresponding value of y. So when x is 1 and y is 12, this equation becomes 12 times the square root of 1 equals k. So the square root of 1 is just 1. So we find that the constant k is equal to 12. Thus, the formula connecting y and root x becomes y root x. This is y times root x equals 12. This is the formula connecting the two variables y and, of course, square root of x. So what this tells us is that if we multiply the value of y and the value of root x, we are always going to get the constant 12. Okay, so the third column here, we've got a value for x, but a missing value for y. So we're just going to substitute the value of x equal to 4 into the equation. So this is y times root 4 equals 12. We know what root 4 is, that's 2. So this is y times 2 equals 12. To obtain the value of y, we divide both sides by 2. This is 12 over 2. And this is equal to 6. So I'm just going to fill 6 here. Also, in the fourth column, I've got a value for y, but a missing value for x. So I'm going to return to the formula connecting y and root x. That's y root x equals 12. So I have a value for y, 3 over 4. So this is times root x equal to 12. So what I can just do here, I can cross multiply, and I'm going to get 3 root x. So I've got a 4 underneath here equals 12 times 4. I can divide both sides by 3. This is going to be 12 times 4 divided by 3, because dividing the left by 3, 3 is just going to cancel 3. So 3 here 1, 3 in 12 is 4. So I have that root x equals 4 times 4, that's 16. To clear the square root, I'm just going to square both sides. So if I square the left side and also square the right side, the square is going to cancel the square roots. So I'm left with x equals the square of 16 is 16 times 16. This is 256. So here I'm going to have 256. Finally, I've got a value for y here. Y equals 2. Y equals 2. And x is missing, so I'm just going to put a question mark. I know that the relationship between x and y is y root x equals 12. Since y is equal to 2, so I have 2 times root x equals 12. Dividing both sides by 2 here, 2 is going to make way for 2, and 2 is going to reduce 12 6 times. Thus, root x equals 6. To obtain x, I'm going to have to take the square of both sides. So I'm going to square both sides. So the square is going to cancel the square root. So I'm left with x equals 6 squared, which is 36. So I'm just going to fill 36 here. Thank you for watching this video. If you find it useful, kindly like it by giving it a thumbs up, share to your friends and colleagues on social media, drop a comment, and click on the subscribed icon. To get notification if I upload new videos, just check the dark bell button under the subscribed icon. Thank you for watching once again, and see you in the next video.